Hey everybody, welcome back to Dave's Small Engines. Today I have a Husqvarna 455 Rancher, belongs to a friend of mine. He brought it over and he told me that it's got low compression and he wants me to check it out. The first thing I did with this repair, just to see, what the damage was and what I needed to do in terms of purchasing repair parts, was to pop the muffler off to see the condition of the piston. Let me show you what I found. All right, so normally what I see when there's a low compression chainsaw is a scored piston and cylinder. But as you guys can see here, which I'll zoom in, this one looks pretty good. I mean, oh yeah, okay, so clearly it's gotten hot, but not hot enough to score the piston. So it might just be a stuck piston ring, and I'm hoping that if I can pop this off and clean things up there, maybe get a new piston ring, that it'll be good as new. So let's get into it. So just for curiosity's sake, let's do a compression test. There you go. What is that, 40 PSI? Not great. So we do have low compression. The only way we can really get into it and fix it is to take the piston out of the cylinder. All right, so let's get the handle off. There we go. Pop the brake off too, just give us some more room. All right, this thing is dirty, but here are the 4 bolts that we're after. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to clean this up first before I do any more work. All right, much better, much cleaner. Totally workable now, not worried about any dirt getting in. So let's get the carb side of things taken care of here first, before we can pop the cylinder off. Air filter is off. Yeah, it's going to be these 2 Allens on the side. And some rubber mounts here that have to come off. Of course, the fuel lines down in here and here. There we go. Gentle carburetor still attached to minimize the amount of removal. Let's try and take it apart. 4 Allen bolts at the bottom, 5 mil. Oh, that's loose. Huh. Okay, well, I don't love that. Wondering if someone has messed with this previously. There it goes. It's really on there. So I cracked all these. Use my drill to save some time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is loose now. Let's see if it'll slide off. And there it is. So, let's see if I can get some better light in there for you guys, but that cylinder looks pretty darn good. You can still see the factory hone marks. Maybe a few superficial lines there, but I don't see anything that's deep or scored. Let's see what this piston looks like. So obviously it got really hot, right? But this ring is stuck, so it's not moving at all, which tells me that's the reason for the no compression, because it's stuck inside the piston. Okay, so I need to remove the clip for the wrist pin. There it is, not lose it in the event. And then I'll tap it, the wrist pin out from the side. It's coming. I don't like to go all the way out. It just makes things easier to put back together. Almost there. There we go. There it is. So as you can see, it got very hot. And this piston ring is now, likely because of carbon, seized in the ring land. It's been a while since I started shooting the beginning of this video. I spoke with my friend who I'm fixing this saw for, and he's actually opted to go with a genuine Husqvarna piston and cylinder kit. So I won't need this anymore, and this is what the OEM kit looks like right here. Piston in the bottom. I'm gonna have to, it's really in there. Must have heated up, there it goes. So that's an OEM 460 Rancher piston and cylinder. Brand new OEM. And this, as you know, this is a 455, but the 460 fits on and it bumps up the horsepower a bit because the piston and cylinder are a little bit larger. So let's get to putting that in. All right, so I've got the old cylinder here, and I've taken off the intake side of things off the cylinder, as well as this guard and the anti-vibration for the handle. So I can now do away with this, and then we can install these pieces onto the new cylinder. Sits like this, like that, and then it's just the Allen head here. course, I'm not going to tighten it with the impact. I'll do that by hand. And then the anti-vibration went on this side like this, and it was again an Allen. Of course, I will tighten all these by hand. There we go. Ready to go back on. All right, so let's get things ready to put the piston on now. Comes with a new needle bearing and two wrist pin clips. What am I missing here, guys? My signature blue towel. Make sure everything's nice and organized and clean. So piston has the wrist pin in it already. Let's get that out of there. Ooh, yeah, nice and smooth. Like I always do, I like to just set it up, get one of the wrist pin clips in this side, depending on how I want it to go. It's probably easier access for me from the clutch side of the saw. Okay, that side's good to go. It's all in there. Then all we need to do, pump the wrist pin to the side. New needle bearing here, very nice. This is all cleaned up, I just cleaned it. Just gonna give it a little bit of WD. Any lubricant really will work on this, not a big deal. Don't go too crazy. Oh yeah, nice and smooth. Make sure your crankshaft is at TDC. I'm gonna put some WD in here as well. Needle to the front always, it's the exhaust side. Wrist pin there. Crouch down at least and line things up. Oh yeah. There it goes, nice and easy. Push it flat to the other side. Grab the other wrist pin, clip. Clip is in. All right, well, let's get this fancy new cylinder on now. It's all ready to go. I'm gonna just spray some WD in the ring to make sure it's nice and loose. Kind of lucky here, it's just a single ring. Don't have to mess around all that much. Get some lubricant in the cylinder so that the ring doesn't have to go in dry. And it's as simple as squeezing this ring and helping it in. Nice, it just sits down there nice, just like that. That's exactly what we're after. Cool. Nice. That's just the noise you're hearing there is just rubbing on the shroud here. I like to also spray a little more WD in the cylinder just to make sure we're not getting a lot of metal on metal. Perfect. Okay, let's get some bolts into it. So just the 4 5mm head Allen bolts at the bottom. And we're gonna go in a star pattern here. I'm not gonna torque them with this. Okay, so what I like to do is then flip everything back up and then again, spin it over, make sure there's no binding inside. Sounds good to me. Starting to make a little bit of compression there now that it's tight. Perfect. Now I will tighten these up by hand. There we go. Nice and tight, and then if all is good, very good. Okay, so while I'm working on things, I'd like to have the spark plug in just to make sure that no debris falls in. I don't need to necessarily tighten it now, but at least it's there. Guess I will tighten it. I have my wrench here anyways. And then the decompression valve, I'll get in there as well. I think that's a 13 mil. And I knew this valve was good, so I'll be reusing that. Plus the kit doesn't come with a new one. Help it out with a bit of WD. Very good. Okay, now it's time to get the carburetor onto the intake. I'm not doing everything tight here because this is the secondary air inlet, so we actually have to get the primary and the bottom first. There's a hose down here, as you can see, for the fuel. So we need to work with that. Carburetor mounted into its rubber mounts, the anti-vibration mounts here. Okay, let's get these all tightened up by hand. The two for the main intake. Now be careful, these are in plastic. Okay. Fuel purge line on. Choke works. Throttle down here. Won't know until the handle's on, but let's throw the exhaust on. Tighten it all up by hand. There we go. Exhaust is on. Great compression. So far, so good. Okay, so let's get the air filter on just so when we're working on things here, nothing goes awry. Very good. Then we can do the recoil housing. Okay, so let's get the handle assembly back on. I've taken the throttle off because I think I can put it on afterwards and it just makes things a little bit easier here. Okay, so one of the screws is in here. But now let's see if we can do the throttle. I might have to take this off, but we'll see what happens. Oh no, I think we might have got lucky here, folks. Awesome. Wow, okay, that's great. Okay, we'll put these on just temporarily because I want to start this thing up. Okay, I've got my 45-to-1 mixed gas here. Very good. Purge it. Let's get some fuel into the carburetor. Awesome. Decompression valve on. So kill switch off. Choke all the way on. Prime it. Decompression lever depressed. Brake on. Let's see what happens. Awesome. There it is, 455. Now 460. Thanks for watching the video, guys. The customer in this case made the right call going with the OEM 460 kit. Not only is it a brand new OEM kit, but it's now a big bore 455, which is the same as the 460. I'm sure he's super excited to dig into some wood this fall with this, of course, after the proper break-in techniques. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, comment, subscribe. I try to respond to every comment. Life's been busy lately, but getting back into the swing of things. And thanks for watching. Take care.